Hello friends, in this video we will talk about metabolism of cholesterol. So we will start with introduction, then we'll discuss the metabolism of the cholesterol and the applied aspect. So cholesterol is a 27 carbon compound present in our body in trace amount. Okay. Serum cholesterol normal is 150 to 200 milligrams per deciliter. And what is the important ring? C triple P ring. Cyclopentanoperhydrophenanthrin ring. What are the functions of cholesterol? These are the part of biological membranes and the synthesis, which we will see in the future slides. The synthesis of steroid hormones, bile acids, vitamin D. Then we will see LCAT metabolism and also neurotransmitter. Okay. So this is the C triple P ring which I was telling you, cyclopentanoperhydrophenanthrin ring. Please remember this name is very important, and this structure which I am showing you on the screen, this will be a spotter in the final exam. Okay. So when the spotter comes, please remember this important ring for cholesterol. Let's see the biosynthesis of cholesterol. So we'll start with, it's just like ketogenesis. Like before we said, two molecules of acetyl-CoA combine by thiolase, CoA-SH is released out, we'll get acetoacetyl-CoA, then acetoacetyl-CoA on HMG-CoA synthase, acetyl-CoA to CoA-SH, we'll get HMG-CoA, then HMG-CoA on reductase. See, there it was lyase, here it is reductase. From here onwards, no connection with ketogenesis at all. Okay, this will be totally different from ketogenesis from now onwards. Okay, so HMG CoA on reductase will get mevalonate. Mevalonate on kinase ATP ADP 5-phosphomevalonate. Then the same enzyme, same conversion, just the word pyro is added to 5-phosphomevalonate. Basically we'll get 5-pyrophosphomevalonate. Same enzyme, same conversion, we'll get, we will get, that is addition of the 3-phospho will be added. So 3-phospho-5-pyrophosphomevalonate. Okay. Then on decarboxylation we'll get IPP, isopentenyl pyrophosphate. On isomerase we'll get dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. Okay. Then on cis-prenyl transferase we'll get GPP, geranyl pyrophosphate. Then on cis-prenyl transferase again we'll get farnesyl pyrophosphate. Then on squalene synthase, NAD plus to NADH2, oxygen to water, we'll get squalene. It is a 30 carbon compound. Then squalene on epoxidase hydroxylase cyclase will get lanosterol, and on further steps will get cholesterol. It is not direct, there will be another 19 more reactions. We will not go into those reactions, but just remember lanosterol to cholesterol will be the last one. Okay, right. This is LCAT, the role of LCAT. So LCAT is lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase. So this LCAT, what does it do? It associates with the ApoA1 of HDL to remove the bad cholesterol from the body. So here lysophosphatidic acid will become phosphatidic acid, in this case phosphatidylcholine, and cholesterol ester will become cholesterol. So this way the bad cholesterol will be removed from the body. Let us see with the bile salts. So remember cholesterol, okay, so cholesterol there will be 3 hydroxylations and 2 hydroxylations. So please write down as I am telling you, cholesterol, okay, 3 hydroxylations left side, to your right 2 hydroxylations, left side will get cholesterol 3,7,12 diol, that side cholesterol 3,7 diol, there is no 12, okay. Then there will be addition of propionyl CoA to both sides, Left side will get cholic acid, right side chenodeoxycholic acid. This is how we are getting it. Then there will be addition of the glycine and taurine. So if we add glycine, glycocholic acid, same with chenodeoxycholic acid, that is glycochenodeoxycholic acid, the same goes with the taurine. Okay. Let us see with the synthesis of steroid hormones in brief. Will not go into the details. So cholesterol will form pregnenolone, that is the precursor. This will form progesterone. Then this will give cortisol, aldosterone and estradiol. Okay. Let us see vitamin D. Okay. So in the skin of the animals, like we are a social animal, right? So in our skin, 7-dehydrocholesterol on sunlight will get cholecalciferol, CC, vitamin D3. Then on 25 alpha hydroxylase will get 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol or simply 25 OHCC. Then on 1 alpha hydroxylase 125 DHCC. It is also called calcitriol or 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol. Okay. So remember that the first that this 25 alpha hydroxylase catalyzing in the liver, 1 alpha hydroxylase in the kidney. Exactly opposite will be in the glycine metabolism, where the first step in the kidney, second step in the liver. Okay. Now let us see with the regulation of cholesterol biosynthesis. So we can see here the HMG-CoA reductase. This was converting HMG-CoA to mevalonate, right? So it will be inhibited. Okay. It will be it will be stimulated by insulin and thyroxine. It will be inhibited by glucagon and glucocorticoids. Okay. And through transcription we'll get it, that is transcription. DNA on transcription mRNA, mRNA on translation HMG-CoA reductase. Also from statins. Statins always will lower the blood cholesterol. Okay. Those are lovastatin and pravastatin, for example. Next, same I told you, HMG-CoA reductase, the regulation. Okay. You can see the same thing. Applied aspect, we have enterohepatic circulation, cholelithiasis, the plasma cholesterol, and then hyper and hypocholesterolemia. So coming to enterohepatic circulation, the bile will be synthesized in the liver, it will be stored in the gallbladder. Okay. So when the fat molecules are, before they enter the intestine, this bile will be released from gallbladder, breaking that fat into small molecules. Okay. Remember that daily 15 to 30 grams. Easy, just remember 15, double is 30. So 15 to 30 grams per day will be released. 0.5 grams per day is excreted. How do I remember this 0.5? So divide these two numbers 15 and 30. What you are getting? 0.5, right? So that's the way we can remember. So 0.5 grams per day in the stools, 15 to 30 grams per day secreted. And excess of excretion leads to steatorrhea. Steatorrhea means fatty stools. Okay. Now cholelithiasis. This is also called gallstone disease. That means the bile acid metabolism did not happen properly. That led to the gallstones in the kidney. So chenodiol is administered to treat it, but the problem is there are some patients who will be resistant to the chenodiol, so it will not be a very good option to give chenodiol. So if it goes severe, surgery may be required. Let us see with the plasma cholesterol. Remember always, forever, plasma cholesterol is lower in the women. Why? Because of estrogen hormone. I have highlighted this word over here. Because of this estrogen, what I said, the plasma cholesterol will be less in the woman. Okay, it will be associated with the lipoprotein fractions. What are they? VLDL, LDL, HDL, those are lipoprotein fractions, right? It will be estimated by the Fred-Waals equation, that is LDL, the bad cholesterol, is equal to total cholesterol, that is the plasma cholesterol, minus of HDL, good cholesterol, plus 1/5 the triglycerides. Now, before I go to hyper and hypocholesterolemia, here let us see about the LDL and HDL. I would like to have a small discussion on this. So LDL is called bad cholesterol, HDL is called good cholesterol. How is it related to atherogenesis? Remember always that LDL is pro-atherogenic. It is directly proportional to the risk of CAD. But not the case with HDL. It is inversely proportional to the risk of CAD. Okay. So the normal LDL is somewhere around 60 to 150. That of HDL is around 40 to 60 in grams per deciliter. Okay. Now let us see with hypercholesterolemia. As the name is telling us that it is more cholesterol in the blood. So how we are going to deal with this? Good lifestyle like exercising every day, having good balanced diet, like as we were learning from our childhood, how our diet should be: carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, fats equally. It should not be like a diet rich in totally carbohydrates like that. So we need to follow the good lifestyle, exercise regularly, eat properly, okay, and consumption of PUFA, dietary fibers and plant sterols. PUFA is polyunsaturated fatty acids. You can give 2-3 examples like arachidonic acid, oleic acid, etc. This hypercholesterolemia we can observe in DM, diabetes mellitus, hypothyroidism, less of the thyroid hormones, obstructive jaundice and nephrotic syndrome. Now, let us see with hypocholesterolemia. Now, in hypocholesterolemia, it will be observed in hypothyroidism, MAS. MAS is malabsorption syndrome, and then here you can see pernicious and hemolytic anemia. Okay. Now, the references from where I took the images. So that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.